welcome to East Coast LQ Reviews. Today, we are doing another Jim Beam, another bourbon whiskey examination. Bumpy, what are you doing with your mic? That's very loud. Pure chaos already. All right. So we're doing another bourbon whiskey examination. This time, we're doing Jim Beam Bourbon, regular white label, regular 40%, 80 proof Jim Beam. As you can see, everybody has a normal size bottle except for Dan on the Breaking Bourbon website. So this is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. Company is Beam Suntory. Distillery is Jim Beam Distillery. All that 80 proof. It's aged for 4 years. Mash bill 77% corn, 13% rye, 10% malted barley. And MSRP in 2017 was $17, but I believe it's gone up. I know Yankee Spirits typically is MSRP $20 at their store. I believe they're usually MSRP for everything. What is what size bottle is that, Dan? Is that 100 ml?
Yes.
What did you pay for it?
Like $1.
It's probably $2.
No, it was like $1.75, something like that.
Oh, that's a good deal. All right. Well, I'd like to thank the panel that's here with me today. Bumpy Road Brews. Cheers, Bumpy.
Did you say it was $20 retail?
I believe so.
Wow. For what size?
The $7.50. Why? What did you pay?
You should all buy your Jim Beam in New Hampshire.
What'd you pay?
$17.99.
Basically what I
Well, that makes sense. So
glass.
maybe it's not 20, but that's what I was seeing it for.
Came with the glass.
Well, Breaking Bourbon says $15 as far as 2017, but that's
2017 as of 2017 pricing.
So that's 6 years ago. So I'm assuming it's gone up in price. So whatever you
everything is gone up in price these days.
Typically, so you are getting your products from excuse me, a state-run liquor store. So you might have actually got it for MSRP. What did you say it was $17.99?
$17.99. That was with
probably makes sense then. Yeah, that would make sense. $18.
Got it for too.
That's what you got it for too, Eric?
Yeah.
Where did you buy yours?
Bought it locally in my town in southeastern Massachusetts.
Oh, okay. You should come over to New Hampshire. You don't have to pay tax.
Totally.
Not
ready tonight.
See what's there in the state of New Hampshire.
So there are 6 categories. Focus. Okay. So there are 6 categories when we do these examinations. Sorry, just got to get to my page here. Okay. So first, we start off with aesthetics that we value at 10 points. Nose, 20 points. Flavor, 20 points. Mouthfeel, 20 points. Finish, 20 points. And then we finish off with the valuing at 10 points. Equaling 100 points total. Today, you guys got your notepads written down. Today we're doing the Jim Beam Bourbon Whiskey. I'm just writing this down. And if you guys want to start talking about the aesthetics of your product, I didn't even finish saying the shout outs because Bumpy over here, unreal. I blame Bumpy.
I'm also breaking. Everybody's breaking up, so I might end up dropping if my internet goes out.
Okay. So, disgruntled Dan, I prefer laser beams from FL Experience. Cheers to Dan. Bumpy distracted me with his price of his bourbon. Thomas 75, also known as Massachusetts Beer Reviews.
Goody.
Also known as Eric. So cheers to these guys. It's always a lot of fun doing this. If you guys want to start talking about the aesthetics, as far as let's crack some bottles. Let's pour some whiskey up. Let's go over the appearance of the bottle itself, the presentation of the packaging, and the presentation of the actual distillate / juice. No, yeah, the distillate juice, the whiskey. Let's pour up. Nice crack, I will say. I like the crack. Nice.
Little water in the glass.
So there's some good information on the bottle, on the labels itself.
Some people chiming in. We saw Ryan. Cheers, guys. Cheers, Bill.
Okay, so
Cheers, Bill.
are we looking at our looks and aesthetics?
Yeah.
Looks aesthetics. Okay. It doesn't look like much, to be completely honest.
I haven't even poured mine yet.
It is super pale.
Did it do the glug? Did it make the glugging sound?
Yeah,
Did anybody
Oh, yeah,
notice
it does.
the little tin foil cap that it has?
I don't like the. Well, I mean, I don't
It's
really
very
like.
cheap.
I don't care either way.
I almost feel like I'm breaking into
My-
like I'm opening up a malt liquor.
Mine's plastic.
Aged for 4
The cap.
long years in the heart of
Wow.
Kentucky.
Plastic.
Maybe you should base your score based off of our bottles.
Take their bourbon seriously. This is made for people that take bourbon seriously. I highly doubt that. But
Honestly,
4 long years.
if I could say,
You got an age statement right on the side.
for a little bottle,
Does that have an
I
age
don't
statement
mind
on it, Dan?
4 years.
Does that bottle have an age statement on it?
Yeah, for a
Oh,
little
no,
bottle, that's
yeah,
pretty
bottle.
nice. They took some time and effort.
No.
into the bottle.
but it does like they made sure that established and 1795 is on there.
Yeah,
Like,
Followed by James
The
Beam
collar of the bottle is
Frankfurt, Kentucky.
they pretty much replicated the big bottle.
yeah.
It's got the Jim Beam family. It's got Jim Beam,
Family.
the whole Beam family on it. That's cool.
It's got
7
Drewski
generations of Beam
is in here. He's pictured in there.
The bourbon itself is very super
And in
light.
case you don't know how to act when you're drinking, you can always go to drinksmart.com so you're not like Dan.
Okay. All right, I've rated the looks of this.
I haven't even looked at the color. The color is very light. It's very
Oh,
light.
it's darker, if you ask me.
It's I still think it's kind of light.
It's super light.
It's like golden,
I like. You know what I like? Is it's got
and
that.
it's 40%. So I feel like it's not going to be too viscousy. I'm getting some decent legs though.
It says that it's distilled and bottled by this company, so you know who's
Yeah.
producing it.
But this
Yeah.
it says James. It says James Beam Distilling Company. I bet you that was what the actual logo probably looked like back then. It was probably
I
that
would
James
imagine,
B. Beam Distilling Company on the side of the building.
Probably
and it
and
says
then they shorten
40% ABV, 80 proof.
the world's. Look at this very bold statement. I don't know if anybody knows this. The world's #1 bourbon whiskey.
Well, it's the world's #1 selling bourbon whiskey.
Right
Yeah.
there. Underneath the signature, what's that say?
See that?
It says a non-genuine without my signature, James B. Beam. James B. Beam. All right, I'm giving this a 6 out of 10 for the.
Yeah, I'm actually right there with you.
I like that they have 4 years of age, and that they have the Beam family on it, and that what Bumpy pointed out is good. It says distilled. Who it's
I
distilled
like
bottled
this. I like
by.
this 6, Eric. I'm gonna go with 6 as well. It
Because when
doesn't.
you
Yeah,
go-
I'm gonna go with 6 as well because I would have gone 5 if it didn't have as much information as it does.
Yeah, I like
Because
the square bottle. I will say I like the square bottle. The square bottle's cool.
it fits
Not
in
a
the
super
liquor.
fan of this twist, but I mean it is $20. I mean, to be fair, whatever.
About that.
Disgruntled Dan hasn't spoken tonight.
Yeah, what's going on, Dan?
What you
I'll
said?
give it
Dan?
a 6.
Cheers, everybody. We do this. We all rate it 6.
He's like Jules. You seen Jules in Curiosity Public, Eric?
Yeah. Oh yeah, with the hat.
He just sits there in the middle and listens to Dutch and Dylan like argue, and he just sits there and he's just like, "Hey, I just want to drink the whiskey, man."
And he also has a tabby hat on, right?
Let's go for the nose.
I gave it a 6 because I appreciate the fact that they basically, honey, I shrunk the Jim Beam bottle.
Yeah,
It's the same exact bottle.
So nose out of 20 points.
nose out of 20. Let's go for it.
Oh, very weak. I mean, I do have a tall Jim Beam glass, but
Jeez,
this is more for like soda.
From what I recall, not too bad. It's got a little bit of like a cinnamon spice. It's not super ethanol, boozy, burny.
No.
There's a
It's
little
only
bit
40% ABV, right?
A little bit of like vanilla and a slight hint of
I'd say a lot of vanilla and butter.
butterscotch.
I get you mean buttery, right? When you say butter,
I
yeah,
get butterscotch kind of.
I understand that. I get a lot of spicy notes too.
There's a bit of spice.
Yeah,
to it.
that's what I was
Yes,
saying.
it's
Yeah,
cinnamon.
it's
You
like a
got the cinnamon
cinnamon.
note.
It's like a cinnamon baking spice. It's
It's
actually
like a
very.
potpourri.
It's not jumping out of glass. I feel like I can get a good nose on it without like getting too much of that ethanol.
Yeah,
For
I still don't think
crack,
it's
I mean,
well-rounded
fresh
in
crack
the.
though, 40%, $20 bottle. I feel like it should have way more of a burn on the nose.
I don't
Yeah,
think
there's
it
not a
has
lot of burn at all.
No,
Mine is
actually,
very mine's bottom bottle.
It's very subdued, kind of lackluster, but it's your typical bourbon notes.
I could use more vanilla.
Kind of smells like a bourbon where you're not really going to be nosing this. This is more
Yeah.
for like just kind of
I
shots.
don't know, man. This smells pretty good.
This
So
would
what do
go.
you- so-
This is one of those bourbons. I think that if you did mix it with Coca-Cola or Pepsi products,
Yeah,
whatever,
perfect.
I think that the soda itself would overtake. I think that this is a ginger ale mix if you're going to do it with soda, something light because it's already light.
I'm getting Eggo waffles with a heaping amount of butter.
Yeah, it's the buttery.
I get the butter thing, I suppose.
It does almost have like a bready yeastiness.
Yeah, it
to
does,
it.
yeah, I can kind of see that, but
It's a
That's
disappointing note. It's a disappointing
waffle.
nose. It's a disappointing nose for it being
4
It's a
years.
disappointing nose for it being 4 years of age.
yeah, I can see that, Eric.
It
Well, it's
smells
because they diluted it down so much.
It smells like it was an uncharred barrel.
It certainly does have no barrel.
Yeah, there's really not much.
at all.
I mean, you get a little bit of the oak. There's like a kind of like a dusty
It's like
oak.
whitewood.
Maybe an astringency. Maybe you can tease out that Jim Beam always has their distillery
Beam
has
funk, like a
peanut
beam,
note in the background. Maybe it's
like a beam funk. A lot of people associate Jim Beam White Label with like a beam funk. It's kind of got like a sour,
you would say.
maybe on the palate more, but I've heard
I'll
that
give it one
they
extra
say that
point.
there's like a little funk.
I'll
Yeah,
give
it's
it
like
an extra
wormwood.
point.
I can tell you, this is Jim Beam was the first whiskey bourbon that I ever had, and it was something that I could actually get into right away. It took me a while to get into harder liquors because I could constantly just taste alcohol, and it would give me that thing that I talk about, where it's just like it's too much booziness. So it took a while to get used to all that. But Jim Beam was something I could jump into as like a liquor virgin and like be okay with.
I may regret buying.
What was the
whole
note you just said, Eric? What was the note you just used?
a peanutty or some kind of a
peanut, yeah.
a nuttiness to some kind of a nut.
From usually,
Legume.
like I associate a lot of Jim Beam with nutty, but I'm not.
I get a little bit of a vegetal note too.
Yeah, it's grain forward to me.
Getting that. I was gonna say I'm kind of getting a little bit of the
I get
ethanol.
like asparagus or something almost out of it.
All right, I got a rating for the nose. I gave it an extra point for that funk you mentioned, which I'm also attributing.
I want to hear what you guys have to say. I'm on the fence with this one.
What are you saying, Bumpy, for the nose?
I'm at
I
10
like it or not.
for the
Where
nose.
you at, Dan?
14.
Holy shit!
Wow.
All right. I'm at a 9.
Dude, all I'm getting is just like breakfast.
It's very
waffles and butter and just like
Oh, Dan, you're a breakfast boy.
just like a little bit of like sediment,
man.
just a touch.
We're
Cheers,
gonna call
man.
him BBD from now on. Breakfast boy Dan.
Cheers, dudes. What's up? Yeah, I'm at a 9 for the nose.
There's like no burn at all, which I like.
I just see. Here's the
find it
thing, right? So, like, I'm getting like slight hints of the ethanol. I don't know.
Yeah.
The initial pour, for some weird reason, I wasn't really getting ethanol. Now I am starting to. Once it's getting more oxygen in it. For some reason, it's actually starting to like.
Are you breathing? Are you smelling it with your mouth open?
No, let me try that. I know what you mean by that.
Try,
You get way more of the corny. You get way more of the corn sweetness when you do that.
Do it with
That
your
makes
mouth
sense
open.
what Bumpy's saying. It really actually does.
Okay.
Nice.
Why does Bumpy always screws up when I'm like in the process of saying? He totally throws off my thought process.
It's a bumpy road, man.
No, it's like I'm on the fence because it's like it's not bad. It's very subtle. It's more like hints of aromas. It's not super prominent. But it's not bad. It's not very complex. I'm really getting kind of like a one note thing. I'm getting like a lot of just bacon spice. It's more of that. When you really stick your nose in there, you get more of the caramels, the vanillas.
It's very light on any caramel.
I can see like butterscotch.
It's buttery.
I can kind of see where Dan was saying like the waffle thing because it does kind of have that like yeasty, but I think a lot of people kind of associate that with like that Jim Beam funk. I'm guessing is probably
There's no maple in it at all.
They could easily throw maple flavoring into this.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I mean, it's not great. It's a little bit better than average. It's not super boozy. 40%. You got to remember it's 40%, so I can see why it's not super complex. I'm gonna go 11. I think 11 is fair for me personally.
All right.
Okay. I was at 10. I could say I am enjoying the nose at least. It's just not like, to me, it's like a lot of the bourbons that we smell and stuff they just have something else. They have a little bit more burn, maybe. There's just it almost seems like there's more complexity to it, but I do enjoy the nose of what's coming through. And yes, it does remind me a bit of breakfast. I'll go up to 11 from 10.
Sticking with a 9.
What's next?
Yeah, flavors out of 20.
Flavor. You guys want to drink it?
Oh,
Not
yeah.
really. All right, we'll do it.
Cheers. Ching, ching, ching.
Diboja. Who was that? That Ryan guy on the internet. Diboja. Doka Ryan.
It's kind of like the It's actually kind of like the Four Roses in a sense where it's very soft. You can tell it's kind of watered down. It's on the thinner side. It's like kind of thin, like Four Roses. Regular Four Roses, I believe, is 40% as well, right?
Yeah.
Thinks the yellow label one you're talking about.
Yeah. Yep. I still got a good amount of that one left.
This one does have a little bit of a burn.
It's got a little bit of a spice. It's got a little bit of like a building heat on the back end. It's a little
has that kind of like buttery note.
Caramel in between.
I think there's a breadiness to this.
Is it the waffle?
Well, that's what I'm saying. People associate like a Jim Beam funk, but I think it's kind of like their yeast, where you can kind of just you get like bakery kind of like bready, I guess, notes like like doughy notes.
The doughboy.
It's not even really bready. It doesn't really have like a super
nice vanilla note. There's a very nice vanilla note, which is actually very prominent. And I'm kind of saying it. It's a vanilla. For some reason, I'm not getting that huge like peanut nuttiness that I typically get with Jim Beam. Maybe it's because it's fresh. It's a fresh crack. But
you know when you have like a bakery like bun and stuff, but they use like a lot of cornmeal. I think it's like got that kind of cornmeal-y.
Yeah, it's probably the yeast. Then
it's super corny. Yeah, it's not.
Oh, corn, or maybe it's just the corn, the grain. But you're not getting like grain like you would, right?
I'm saying that's kind of that bready note. Like there's something in there that's kind of reminding me of like the yeast or the bread.
Yeah,
there's something in there like that. I mentioned that.
I'm getting dry roasted peanut.
Oh, what did I say the mash bill was again? Dry roasted peanuts. Yeah, I can. Yeah, it's more on the finish. It's more on the finish. It's more lingering on the aftertaste. It's kind of it's like it's left on the back of the palate.
I'm surprised, and this has nothing to do with like drinking bourbon straight here because we've obviously
77% corn.
Collectively, we've done drinking straight bourbons, and we know what to expect from different styles or different bottlings of bourbons and whiskeys. But for whatever reason, at 40%, this one's hitting with a little bit of an ethanol punch that I'm not super fond of.
Yeah,
burn on the back.
There is a burn. It does that thing that Dan mentioned. That stuff that you numb your gums with.
The medicinal.
Yeah.
The medicinal
that. I do pick up on a slight bit of clay. And I'm going to shut up and let Eric finish what he was saying.
I don't know what that is, but what I was saying is I think there needed to be for the flavor to round itself out a little bit from that ABV. Maybe kind of like with beer, if it's too hoppy, add some more malt. If it's too malty sweet, add some more hops. Kind of the same thing here. I think the ABV could have been rounded out by either, I don't know, a different. I think they just needed a different charring level, as maybe Bumpy was talking about in the nose. There's no char to it at all. I think maybe they could have used some char, and maybe that would have rounded out some of the ABV or some of that little ethanol kick or that spicy note to it a little bit. I think it's a little off balance with this is only 40%, and it has that kind of a punch initially. To me, at least, that's kind of slightly off-putting, I guess.
I just
No,
think it's super thin. I just think it's super thin. Well, of
Yeah.
course, that'll be
The mouthfeel
more
Yes,
the mouthfeel, but it
and the
does
finish.
have to do with the flavor, because if it's thin, then the flavor is kind of light. So I'm getting kind of like a soft flavor, kind of like the Four Roses. Like I said, it's very soft. You can tell it's kind of watered down. Like I said, I was getting your typical standard bourbon notes, caramel, vanilla. Like Dan said, you get a little bit of that nuttiness. I will say, going back, kind of circling back to what Eric was saying about the 4-year, the oak and char is not as prominent as you
It's nowhere.
would want it to be for a 4-year bourbon. I feel like I've had some stuff that was 4 years and it had much more of a finish to it. As far as like that oaky, woody aspect.
Evan Williams.
In the char. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Evan Williams has that. What is it? What's the age on the Evan Williams? I don't even remember.
4.
Last week. Was it 4?
I believe so.
Yeah, minimum of 4.
Okay.
Right.
I thought it was a minimum of 2, maybe. Could be wrong.
Or maybe I'm thinking of the Bottle and Bond.
Probably.
Flavor. Do I go the same as the nose? Yeah, probably.
I think it was 4 years. So I think I shouted 4 years on. I think you looked it up and it was 4 years.
Now we can change around all these ratings however we want to do that. So
NAS.
you can always change.
No age statement on the Evan Williams.
No, really.
I think somebody was in the chat that said 4 years.
Or it has to be a
Thomas Ozzy.
Well, if it's not 4 years, if it's less than 4 years for a straight bourbon, for straight nomenclature, they have to list it on the bottle what the age of it is. And if they don't, you can almost assume that it's going to be 4 years, and they're not
2
listing
years.
about it.
Minimum Kentucky straight bourbon age is 2 years.
Yep. But again, if it's younger than 4, then they have to list that out. How many months it's aged, or what's the years? But minimum 2 for it to get straight nomenclature.
The nose is starting to get a little bit better. It's kind of.
It's a very.
The nose are picking up on more bacon spice and stuff.
Yeah, I guess. I think I like
To
the
me,
nose.
the flavor is very segregated. It's like a 2-part flavor, but it doesn't mesh. Like it's just like right off the bat. Like I get some of the Eggo stuff, and then transitions to like a dry roasted peanut, but then it like stops, and then there's that back end like
it just falls
dirty
flat.
Band-Aid kind of like aftertaste.
It does kind of have a Band-Aid thing, yeah.
Is there something, Tanner, in this bourbon, in the Jim Beam here, that reminds you of any of those unaged Buffalo Trace whiskeys that you have? Is there like a new make like right off like the unaged stuff? Is there any kind of that flavor that you detect out of this Jim Beam? Like it doesn't have like a like the aged taste that you like out of a bourbon. Do you feel like it's not really there? I guess.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. As far as a 4-year, you would definitely be disappointed. I feel like you see 4 years, you expect a little bit more out of it. The like I said, we're not really on finish yet, but the finish is almost non-existent. The finish is almost completely non-existent. Like it dies off so fast. You get like that spice.
Yep.
You get a little bit of an astringency, a little bit of that drying aspect. So I guess that would be a little bit of the oak, but then it just completely dies off, and you're like just really not left with much. It's a very. This is for people to do shots of. This is bar bourbon. It's kind of seems like it's specifically meant to be a very easy to get along with bourbon. It's a what was that? An inviting, a welcoming bourbon. What did we say before? It's easy for the novice bourbon drinker. Anybody, newbie bourbon drinker could drink it and be like, "Oh, that's not bad."
I feel like it's a good mixer, but you can tell it.
Turn me off from bourbon. It was my first bourbon ever.
Well, you guys think it has more of that burn for 40%? I'm actually,
yes, I do.
It's very subdued. I'm also drinking some cold water on the side.
At this price point, we're going to get into value at some point, but I would never recommend this bourbon to anybody at this price point. I would go straight to Evan Williams Black Label.
True.
I would not even start with you, Jim Beam White Label.
Well, I think I like this flavor more than Evan Williams Black.
But it also goes towards the fact that it's kind of like what Bumpy said. Whereas if you wanted more of the bourbon flavor in, like let's say your whiskey and Coke, you might go Evan Williams. But if you don't want as much bourbon flavor, but you want to do a whiskey and Coke, you're probably going to go with this because it is very light. It is very subdued. It's not kind of punchy. It's not as full flavored as the Evan Williams. The Evan Williams is also, I think, a little bit higher in proof, to be fair. The Evan Williams is 80.
I got it at 10 for flavor.
This is 80. So always see, you know what I'm saying? So we are comparing this to Evan Williams, its rival, which pretty much is what is going on. Evan Williams, Jim Beam, neck and neck. They're going head to head. They're the bourbons in every single liquor store on the planet. Evan Williams does have 6 proof over Jim Beam. So
I'm at 10.
At a 10, I think I'm there with you. I mean, it's just average. It's straight run of the mill. The flavor's not bad. It's not really offensive. It's just your typical.
I will tell you, it's getting more nuttier and nuttier the more I drink it.
I'm at an 8.
8?
8.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
So
I don't know. I might get talked
I
down.
like the Evan Williams flavor more than this.
Oh, absolutely.
I give Evan Williams 11 for flavor.
I gave Evan Williams a 9.
I brought for my tasting notes so far. I brought the nose from a 9 to a 10, and I started with the 10 on the flavor, and I brought it down to a 9 on the flavor for this Jim Beam White Label.
I started at a 7.5 and brought it up to an 8.
I gave the nose on the Evan Williams a 10.
I'm really craving more of a barrel instead of 4 years.
I gave the nose a 10 on Evan Williams and this an 11, and I gave the flavor on Evan Williams 11 and this 10. So, and I gave the same. So I'm pretty much at the same score so far. But my aesthetics, I did 6. Evan Williams, I did 6. So I'm pretty much at the same as what as far as numbers so far. But we're moving. Did everybody else get to say their scores for flavor?
I think so.
Just to recap, Bumpy, you said flavor you gave a 10.
I think you said 8. Is that right?
Yeah, he gave an 8. I gave a 10.
8 for the flavor.
Bumpy? I think Bumpy just froze.
He gave it an 8.
For flavor?
Yeah.
Am I here?
Yes, now you are.
Okay, there you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you do?
Yeah, so I'm at an 8.
Okay, Dan, what did you say?
We're on flavor. We're on flavor still, right?
Flavor.
Yes. Eric?
Up on flavor. I'm at a 9.
Okay. All right, mouthfeel. Let's talk about mouthfeel. Very thin. It's light. It's thin. It's almost non-existent. Even a 6?
We're giving it a 5.
Out of 20?
Yes. Evan Williams, I wasn't there last week, but I kind of wish I was comparatively.
I'll probably give it 10 on Evan. Yeah, this is super light.
I'm going to give it a 10.
I would rather drink Jameson over this.
I think this is where
Whoa.
I think this is where this might.
No.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
I hate Jameson. Oh, let's do Jameson
Well, we can-
sometime. That's horrible.
That'd be fun.
I love Jameson.
It's not bad. It's light.
I can't.
Jameson.
That's gotta be on the list someday to do that on this channel.
Jameson.
It's easy
Like
enough to
water.
Mouth feels,
to me.
yeah, the mouth feels very thin. I think I'm gonna go 8. I think 8's fair. So it's less than average. It's just
If we did Jameson, I want to do the stout Cascades. That's bang.
yeah, but here's the thing though. So I'm like kind of knocking it for mouthfeel because I'm not really getting any like oily biscuity aspect to it.
No,
I
so
get a
thin.
little water in
Like
this.
I said, I'm gonna go back to saying this is watered down, this is thin because this is like you said, this is a cocktail bourbon. This is something that you mix with stuff.
Why is this the world's #1 bourbon? We'll get to that.
No, I mean right now at this very moment, I believe we're probably the only people on the planet examining Jim Beam bourbon.
Well, I'll give it to Jay Terrio.
No, that's not true.
I'm just kidding.
Cheers to Ron Terrio.
Yeah, I said 8. What do you guys think?
5. I'm sticking.
I was
with
at
that.
10.
And Dan said 6.
And 10 is the lowest mouthfeel I've ever given any of the bourbons. So
Okay.
Finish.
That might be the saving grace to this slightly. Not too much. I actually get a peanutty. Actually, really, the peanut note for me right now really ramps up in the finish.
It is getting nuttier and nuttier. It's like,
Yep, that's the best part.
a lot
of
of
the finish, or potentially here in this bourbon.
honestly, it's probably the most peanut I've gotten out of a bourbon in my infancy of bourbon drinking.
You guys add a little bit of water. I'm gonna pour a little more and add some.
I might
So
do
this
it.
starts off like I think when you first start drinking it, you get the burn and stuff like that. As you continue to drink it, obviously your mouth becomes used to it, maybe numb a little bit. The finish, I don't think it's too bad. I mean, it has like a little bit of a burn that lingers on, but I mean, you're left with a lot of the flavor notes that you're picking up on all the way from, and it just kind of combines everything. So it's not the worst finish. I think I'm going to give the finish I think I'll go ahead and give it an 11.
I should have put a drop. I like poured it.
So everything is killed with water, no matter what. You just killed anything that happened in that bourbon. It tastes like
I'm getting a little bit more
Maybe put some beer in it.
spice. I'm getting more bakery spice.
maybe that's my version of alcohol. Yeah. I can see that.
A little yingling in there.
My yingling.
Slight
My
more,
yingling brings all the boys to the yard.
slight more vanilla at the end of the finish with the
I get more of the
water
nutty
addition.
too, but
I'm
annihilates just water just completely dilutes this and just
Yeah.
annihilates.
I'm at 11.
Am I an 11? I don't know. I feel like it's starting to build a little bit more.
Wow.
the most amount of flavors in the finish.
Drinking a double IPA
I'll go with 11.
and then
Yeah, I'll go.
taking a step, it's totally weird what hops do to the end flavor of the.
Cheers, Bill. And cheers, Ozzy.
Cheers.
Good to see you guys. Yeah, the water, it's just like, this is just.
It's nasty. It's not no. There's nothing nasty about this. This isn't nasty. This isn't just
Take a bigger
agreeable
sip.
whiskey drinkers.
Have you guys taken a big sip yet?
Yeah, I just took a real big sip.
Nutty, and then I'm getting a little bit more of the oak. The finish is actually kind of getting a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna keep it at. So I give the Evan Williams an 11.
I think Jim Beam could be one of those IPA. You know how they do the hop whiskeys?
Yep.
It's mixing pretty well with the hoppiness.
The spicy elements or something.
I don't know. I'm gonna go. I think I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go 11.
Are we all going to go straight 11 on that?
I'm on 11 on the finish.
We're all on 11.
I give it higher than Evan, and I don't think it's. I don't think it's better than Evan, but I don't think it's. I don't think it's worse than Evan.
It can't be.
I
worse.
gave Evan the same thing.
Yeah. Value.
That Evan to me has a way better mouthfeel.
This is where this gets fun. Value.
Oh boy.
Anybody got
7.
a number already?
7.
Wow.
That's what
I was. My value is different because I got a free glass with mine at $17.99.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm at a 10.
What is that? The glass you're using?
Yeah.
Let me see it.
Jim Beam.
Yeah, that's a little glass too. It's little, right?
It's like a mixer, like you do it with Coke, with the Red Sox.
That's really cool.
They also had, so I could have just bought the
Wait till
bottle.
Christmas time.
Yeah, I could have just bought the bottle and it
$1
and it said Red Sox here,
Nice.
and it had the Red Sox logo up here, and it would have been the same price, $17.99. But I got a glass with mine, so.
Evan, I gave an 8, which I feel like is fair. I do feel like the value of the Evan Williams is better than this.
You?
Oh, absolutely, all day long.
You get a higher.
This I think was this cheaper or more expensive than?
No, this was more expensive. So that's the thing, though. With Evan Williams, you get a higher proof and cheaper.
I think it's the same price in my local.
Oh shit! Yeah, and I like the Evan Williams better. I'm just going to judge mine off the free glass.
Oh, 1 extra point.
Yeah, I'm gonna deduct a couple. I'll go down to.
That's what I was saying. Watch when Christmas time comes around. You'll see a million different Christmas packages, and they all come with glasses. That's a good time of the year.
I'm gonna go down to 7 for the value.
I need a. I broke 1 glass, and actually no, I lied. I broke a Spiegeloo IPA glass while I was rinsing it. I was drying it with the towel, looking out the window all casually. I'm like, oh, what a nice day. I freaking snapped it in my hands. And then another night, I was hanging out with people off air, and I had my Maker's Mark glass, and I hit it off the table, but it landed on the carpet and broke. So I'm hoping that I can get another one this year. You'll probably have it, and I don't mind Maker's Mark. Once that bottle's gone,
this is easily going to be the worst whiskey we've had.
Oh, by far.
Yeah, I think value. I'm gonna go
based off my score. It's the
7.
lowest. It's the lowest score by almost a decade.
I'm gonna go 7. It's definitely better than average. And you guys got to remember, if you go to any big chain, or not big chain, if you go to Total Wines, or if you go to Yankee Spirits, or if you go to your state-run liquor store like Bumpy, there's a lot of stuff in this $15 to $20 range as far as bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you really can't go wrong. I think as far as a spirit in general, bourbon is probably your best bet if you have $15 to $20.
I got a question for future.
But I will say $20 for this. That's what I paid. I think this is perfect, dude. If you grab a friggin' 12-pack of Coca-Cola, cans at Walmart, whatever, you grab a $20 bottle of this.
Ginger ale. You
can make whiskeys and Cokes for what? A week or however long or
I think Jack Daniels is more Coke.
You can make a lot of drinks for $20 or let's say a 12-pack of Coke is $6-7. So let's say for $26, you know how many drinks you can make with this in those a 12-pack of cans?
Yeah.
So as far as value, especially, you know what I'm saying?
So Tanner.
Yep.
Just for future stuff, because we get deal breakers. When I talk about the price, should I talk about what the price is that's listed, or the price that I actually get?
Talking about value,
because they tell you this is a price buster. You get $7 off.
Oh yeah, well yeah. Always mention if it's off, if you get a discount on it.
Yeah, because I think this is definitely discounted. Because I think it was $20 or so, and then it was.
To be fair, too, as far as value, you can make more mixed drinks with the Evan Williams because it is higher alcohol.
Yep.
It'll last a little bit longer. You get what I'm saying?
You'll get more shite faced.
Yeah.
With
Maybe.
with more proof, you're going to be able to make more stronger drinks, and
Yeah.
you're not going to use as much of it. But yeah, I think a 7 out of 10 is fair for this. I don't know. I think overall, before we do the calculations and everything,
Did we all say our value?
my general idea of this is your.
I didn't say my value.
I don't really drink bourbon, but
You don't drink bourbon?
no, I'm saying this is somebody who doesn't really drink bourbon can get this. They can sip it if they want to try to sip it. If they want to try to get into whiskey, you could just sip on this, try it out, and you're like, okay, I get an idea of what this product tastes like. And then you try some other stuff, and you're like, wow, that's what bourbon tastes like. So I feel like this is definitely like one of your best entry level bottles you can buy. Totally I would recommend it all day. It is what it is. Go to a bar, try it at a bar, get a pour, get a shot, take a little sip of your shot before you shoot it back. It's not terrible. It's an okay product for sure. It's the number one selling bourbon on the thing or whatever you get. It probably is not the number one. That's what they're putting on the thing. Number one bourbon whiskey. Of course, that's not true.
Eric's really good to say his value.
But as far as sales, yeah, Jim Beam, Evan Williams is everywhere. So I wouldn't be surprised if it is like the number one selling bourbon on the market. I don't know if that's true or not, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is. So, you guys want to tally up? Oh, your value? You didn't say your value?
No, I'm giving this a.
Been trying to tell you that for half an hour. Holy shit!
Oh, that's all right.
Anyways, I'm giving this
42 minutes. This has been fast, dude. We're already almost done. It's only been 40 minutes.
A 3 out of 10 for the value. It's for $20 for sub $20 for my $18 price range that I got it for. It's too light and thin with hardly no barrel influence. I don't find that it's very balanced between the flavors, the mouthfeel. I think the finish is the best thing that's going on for it. And I would rather at its exact same price point. And we'll get to this. We'll get to one of them next week. But for this, in this price,
I need to talk
ish for about a $10 average more, if you will, between this exact dollar range and another $10, I'd rather go with Evan Williams Black Label or Jim Beam Black or even their Devil's Cut over this. I think if you wanted to spend about this much money and then $10 more, there's a lot to choose from. And you could even go all the way to Wild Turkey 101. But probably Tanner's point, you wouldn't go all the way to Wild Turkey 101 if this is your first bourbon or one of your first couple of bourbons. But once you get comfortable with bourbons and you find a liking for it, maybe go and try even like the 86 proof Wild Turkey.
So you said
price point overall.
So you said 3 out of 10?
I said 3 out of 10, yeah.
So you're saying that this value of this whiskey is less than average?
Oh, absolutely.
I completely disagree with that. There's so much stuff that is in this price range that is absolute like swamp water garbage.
Granddad is
not even drinkable. I don't know. Yeah, I think as far as value, you're buying this. You're not going to be sipping this. This isn't your sipping whiskey. This isn't. Ooh, this tastes like this, and that. This is something you buy to mix, and I think that's where the value holds its own. Wow, but yeah, if you think 3 out of 10, that's your opinion. But I totally don't. I think that 7 because Evan Williams is definitely at an 8. I'm with you all day. Evan Williams is great value. I don't see this being much different as far as a value standpoint for something that's not necessarily supposed to be super flavorful and like a complex, robust, super viscousy mouthfeel. You know what I mean? This is just your standard run-of-the-mill bourbon. I don't know. That's just I give it credit towards where credit's due. You know, I think that's what they're shooting for with this product
Give
is
him
value.
what they do instead.
For 4 years, and you got to think too, it's a 4-year bourbon for $20. There's a lot of stuff that you really don't get much age to it. I understand where you come from, though. You're saying for 4 years, it's not almost non-existent. It's like, what are they aging these things
Aged in a stainless steel tank, basically.
in a cold cave? You know,
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like it was like whitewood.
it doesn't seem like
whitewood,
it got too much flavor change to it. What?
Sandalwood. That would even taste better.
But next week
Well, we can.
is Hallows Eve, and we'll be doing the Devil's Cut of Jim Beam.
I really like that Devil's Cut better. We'll talk
Fun
about that next week.
Which that'll be an interesting thing because we've all bitched about how much Dan didn't really bitch about, but the lack of barrel in the Devil's Cut is like the stuff that's basically like sucked out of the barrel.
Let's try, yeah.
Yeah,
I think the most amount of barrel influence that you're getting from the Jim Beam White Label is you seem to be getting a very drying aspect to the whiskey here, and I think the barrel in the white oak is giving it that drying tannic. I was going to say a little bit astringent, but I think that dryness is coming from the barrel in this. So if anything, it's a little dry from the barrel, but is that necessarily what you're looking for most of the time? But then again, I think to Tanner's point, what he was just trying to say is like, this is almost the antithesis of something you should really be examining like this Jim Beam White Label. That's sort of the hard part of doing an examination on this, right? It's not really designed for any of this stuff.
I don't think. Yeah, they're not expecting people to be like, "Ooh, this tastes like this, and that." They're gonna be like,
this bourbon's been around longer.
Out of it, and
All right.
This bourbon's been around longer than some of the other bourbons.
I'll give it 5.
To be fair, too, they are kings of flavor and value when it comes to.
I'll give it a 5.
Bang.
Yes. I agree with
Flavor
you.
and value, Beam Centauri, Jim Beam. This is where you get your flavor and value from.
Even just
This
a
is
regular
your-
number. Yeah.
This is your freaking. This is your chugger. This is your slammer. This is your freaking shot
Well,
shooter.
Back
This
in the
is
days
your
of the
value.
cowboy.
Because this is Beam Centauri as well. If you didn't catch my drift, if I'm just rambling like a maniac at this point.
All right, I brought the value up to
Which
5.
miscellaneous brought something up. I was on his stream earlier. This is bought out by Sapporo or whatever.
Yeah, it was bought out by
Beam
Japanese
Centauri. Well, yeah. Let's.
Yeah.
Oh wait. Oh, recently?
2014.
Yeah.
When was this is company Beam Centauri as far as 2017.
2017. Okay.
We'll find.
I'm at a 54.
I'm at 53.
I'm at a 53.
So at the end of the day, I did raise the value up to 5, and I did raise the nose up to 10. I lowered the flavor down to 9. So my overall rating is a 46 out of 100.
A what?
46.
46. So Bumpy was what was yours again? Bumpy 53.
Exactly the same as yours.
It was mine. Dan was I think a little bit higher. What was yours, Dan?
54.
4.
Our average.
And Eric was
51.
what were you, Eric? 46.
46. It's not angry. I'm at 46.
And what's our total in roundup?
51.5, so it's 52.
Okay.
Yeah, where was going to land on.
What did I say? What did I say when you first asked me, Dan? What did I say? Someone asked me we were off air.
It's gonna be the worst one.
I said this is going to be dead last,
And it probably is.
But yeah,
which is
Four
fair.
Roses is like 60 or 57 or something like that.
Nah, Four Roses is a little bit higher than what's it called? Evan Williams. Pretty sure.
It was? Wow.
Maybe, no. I could be wrong. Hold on, let me go
I
back.
think Four Roses was the worst.
Four Roses we gave a 61
Damn.
as a group. Me, Bumpy, and Dan. So it was a 3-way.
Yeah.
It was a 3-way review. We gave it a 61. Evan Williams with a 55 out of 100.
55. Okay, so Evan Williams.
And Jim Beam with a 52, falling dead last with the fart.
Yep. Not very good.
But I mean, 52 out of 100. It's an average bourbon. This is like what I was saying. This is what this thing is. This
Right.
is average.
50 would kind of land average, right?
This is perfect. It's a perfect
No, in
number.
high school, this would be a failing grade.
I guess if you're looking at yeah, it's an F.
But
If you're doing a Rontario A, B, C, D grade.
Yeah. If you're looking at it from that aspect, that's why I like doing this. Doing it this way, it's a lot of fun. You really nitpick stuff and you have a good discussion. I like that we can disagree and agree without getting upset and not Eric being like, "You're a jerk, man. You don't agree with me." No,
I prefer a bus.
I still have Ozzy's comment up. But no, yeah, it's a lot of fun doing this. We got some more people talking in the chat. Ryan said it was cool until I saw the Red Sox for Bumpy.
And then you got Ungrateful Dan.
Ungrateful Dan.
Grumpy Dan, whatever his name was. All right.
I did say my value fund.
On the beer.
Well, I like to play him because then you can't see him afterwards. Yeah. Overall, what do you guys think? What are you guys' last thoughts on this product before we do some shout outs and wrap this up?
Char the barrel. Try it.
I used to really love Jim Beam back before I was into whiskey. I would actually drink Jim Beam, and I would drink it straight. And my boss would be like, "Oh no, you gotta cut it." That's how the whole ginger ale thing, because he would do his with ginger ale, so he told me to drink ginger ale with it. So that's what I started doing. But then I kind of weaned off of all hard liquors for quite a long time, and went strictly beer. So it's going back to Jim Beam. Yeah, it's not bad. If I was at like some cheap shoddy bar, basically, or out to like some restaurant, and they only had a few whiskeys to choose from, yeah, whatever. Throw me a Jim Beam or do a mix with a ginger ale or something.
If you order a whiskey and Coke, you're probably going to get this or Evan Williams in it.
Jack Daniels.
Hopefully, you're not going to get an American.
That's a Jack and if you say, "Let me get a bourbon and Coke," they'll probably give you Jim Beam.
Maybe that's why I get Jack Daniels, because I say Jack and Coke.
Well, if you just said whiskey,
how that works.
Yes, that makes sense.
Well, if you just say whiskey and Coke, they're going to give you an American blended.
Usually how that works, Bobby.
They'll give you an American blended if you just say whiskey and Coke, which will be about 80% of it will be a neutral grain spirit mixed with some kind of barrel aged whiskey.
Give me some of that whiskey stuff.
Bumpy just found out why for 30 years he's been getting Jack and Cokes this whole time.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, but just recently I've been saying, can I get a double barrel?
Thank you.
Jack and Coke, thanks.
Do they actually have that?
Yeah, because it's just not strong enough.
For some reason, I don't tell them that I don't want pickles, but they still put the pickles on it. What's going on?
Their selective hearing is the problem there. I was at a concert over the weekend, and they had. I was at a concert over the weekend, and they have Labatt Blue, and I kept saying, "Can I get a blue?" And then I said, "Can I get a Labatt?" And she's like, and the bartender's like, "Yo, you mean a PBR?" I said, "Labatt." Oh, Labatt. Selective hearing. You hear what you want to hear. No pickles. Pickles. I heard pickles.
I don't know. I don't know how much longer Dan's going to last after we end this. I see him yawning over there and stretching, and
Well, he needs to wake up.
Yeah.
Give us your final thoughts, Dan.
I hate each and every one of you for making me drink this.
You didn't like it?
You're welcome.
No,
They're represented by the Red Sox, Dan.
no, it's a fine mixer. I mean, it's just
It's also
again, find a common theme here of just a lot of mixers with the cheap stuff. Like it's very few and far between.
Well, we had to do
So
the
you want to
devil's
go more
cut.
expensive? Is that what you're saying?
To be fair,
No,
we had
I'm saying within the
to
price
do this
range,
before the devil's cut.
it's very few and far between where you find one where you're like, okay, I'll sit here and drink this on its own.
Yeah, we need to go back to get some good stuff.
Yeah.
Jefferson's.
Do you want to start doing like going up a little bit more to like $40 range?
Sub 30, maybe.
Well, we'll do the devil's cut, and then we'll probably do like Jefferson's and.
Can I throw an idea out?
Sure.
You drive to Tanner's and pick up the Heaven Hill? Sure.
No, Tanner can drive to me. I get a busy life. I'm a grandpa. Okay,
It's your turn, Bumpy. I've drove to you like the last 2 or 3 times. It's your turn.
All right. Well, anyways, so in January, a lot of people do dry January, right? They stop drinking for the whole month of January. Why don't we do rye January?
Oh, shit.
Why don't we get into the ryes?
Yeah, it'd be fun. I like rye.
Because you get Wild Turkey 101 rye.
Whiskey, I cry. You ever heard that song?
Yes. There's a lot of whiskey songs.
You make me
about
want
rye whiskey.
Rye
Cheap.
heat over here.
Here's the cheap one, for example. Very nice.
Economical whiskey there.
Way up on Clinch Mountain, I wander alone.
Because I just like rye because it brings that extra special spice to it. You know? It just has a little more oomph.
Rye. I like rye. You know what? Probably, to be honest with you, I think my favorite whiskey right now. My favorite whiskey right now.
Is it a Jack Daniels? Oh, no, it's not.
Out of everything that I have, I've had stuff, even the Buffalo Trace stuff, I really enjoy. I think this is probably my favorite whiskey at the moment.
The Willet?
The Willet 4-year small batch. All that. Well, there's a different ABV on it each time, so. Rare release. These are really good. These are $69 at Yankee Spirits.
Ooh, that's why I didn't pick that up. I remember.
It's good. It's really good though. This is like straight up citrus candy. Oh crap!
Better aging techniques for 4 years than.
Yeah, I mean even the rhetoric stuff. I mean the rhetoric might be like probably number 2. Those rhetorics are really good.
So, is the idea with the Jim Beam maybe to not try to influence too much barrel and have too much of like a barrel char for
what they're shooting for? They probably do a light char.
Yeah,
they probably do a light char on their barrels.
They're doing that on purpose, probably, and not just by like,
I would assume so.
Yeah, okay.
But like I said, it's also the fact that it is very watered down.
Sure is. Yeah.
I mean, overall, been a good show. I enjoyed doing that.
Great times.
Yeah. Let's appreciate the people viewing and chatting before they all go away.
Yeah. Should we?
Yeah. Ryan's beer reviews.
Kamersazi.
Yeah.
Shout out to the chat. Kamersazi.
Beer Man was in here.
Everyone should pick up Devil's Cut even if you're not on stream and do it.
That was good. I got that.
Was it last week where Kamersazi did the scoring along with us?
I think so.
Yeah, so Devil's Cut, it's gonna be on All Hallows Eve. That's next Monday.
Devil's Cut is next Monday. So let's do some shout outs. Let's go around and we'll start with Bumpy. Shout outs for your channel. And shout outs for a couple other people.
So for me, obviously I've been drinking some whiskeys and stuff. But nothing showing up on my channel based off that. Just enjoying Tanner's stuff that he's doing with that on Monday nights here with these lives. So please keep coming back. Tell your friends, bring people, share this out. I think it's a good program. We got Dan also jumping into the pool of whiskeys with us, and Eric, who's been delving into this devil for a bit longer than both Dan and myself, anyways. So good. I think it's a good show to watch. I enjoy doing it. I think that we're having good discussions. We're learning a lot for us, anyways, and hopefully you guys watching along are as well. And like Dan said, pick up the Devil's Cut. Join along with us. You can find just a little. Just go into the liquor store as long as you're of age and get that Devil's Cut. You can find them for that 99-cent range.
Oh,
Just
really?
a little nip. Yeah,
Oh, where?
they do have it.
Look,
At least in my area, they do. And just try it out. If you never tried whiskey, definitely I think that's a way to do it, is to do a little nip, because then you're not wasting money, and you don't feel bad if you have to dump it up. On my channel, yeah, I got some reviews to put out still. I don't have anything edited as of yet for this week, but I definitely will. There'll be at least one video, if not two, that will pop up this week. Eventually, my 50-point inspections will cease for a bit. I am trying to do a non-scoring thing, just to A, shorten up videos, and B, get away from maybe putting a score really towards breweries and beers that they do, because sometimes, like, maybe a 40 beer may be just as good as a 44 beer, but maybe you're not feeling it that day, or whatever, but it falls within almost the same kind of area. And I just want to kind of talk about the beer a little bit and whether or not I'd recommend it. It's more or less what I want to do versus giving a score that might turn people away. If I'm not scoring it up near like a perfect score, some people may start seeing that beer as, not as good and not worth trying. And I'm not trying to shit on breweries and whatnot, because they're doing a lot better. I'm a home brewer. I did homebrew for over 11 years. It's been a couple of years since I have brewed anything myself, but I was never making stuff as good as what these breweries are doing. And who am I really to put a big judgment on stuff that's much better than what I could ever produce myself. So that's kind of my main thing, is why I'm trying to get away from it as far as scoring. But I am still putting out my
Who
own
do you
palette
think you are, Dan?
and stuff, saying whether or not I like it. I'm still trying to give you kind of an idea of where it falls for me, but and whether I'd recommend it or not. I mean, because sometimes there are really bad beers. Sometimes they're excellent beers. Sometimes there's a ton of beers that just fall in this kind of, yes, they're all kind of similar. They fall around the same area. Try them. Type deal. So that's kind of my biggest change on my channel that would be coming up. Trying a little bit of a different editing thing for the beginning and end as well. Thanks to Tanner, showed us all this little clip champ thing. So I'm checking that out. So you may notice I'm actually asking people to subscribe to my channel and thumbs it up and all that other stuff. Not verbally, but it's there. So yeah, please, if you want to watch my channel, subscribe. No live streams as of right now. I may get back into the live stream game if I can think of something that's worthwhile doing. I hate copycatting, but that's basically the world today. There's not much new stuff that you can just come out with all of a sudden. So there's got to be some kind of like idea based, like this show really worked well. I like this, maybe kind of a mixture type thing. But I'll be, if I think of doing a live again, it's definitely, I'm going to try to make it something very worthwhile to me anyways, and interesting to me. I've taken a lot of time, and just cheers to everybody here on panel. Check out all their channels. And like I said, I like what Tanner's doing with this Monday night show. I really like it. Cheers.
Glad you enjoyed, Bumpy.
Yeah.
Sure, man.
Thanks
Thanks
a
for
lot.
being here. Cheers, bro. Mr. Dan, you've been very quiet tonight. Would you like to shout yourself out? He's gonna turn his camera off. Oh, he's gonna turn his camera.
Unlike Jesse, I have no problem judging people and judging breweries. As a matter of fact, if you dare fuck up the Motueka hop, I will come for you. I will hunt you down. Not cool. I will rate your beer a 0.2, motherfucker. So yeah, other than that,
That's very
every
hot.
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday we have our videos, and you know, yeah, I don't know. We're doing a bunch of Levante beers from the Good Joe from Beer Tuber Palooza. Sent us a nice package. Levante works there from Westchester, Pennsylvania. So we got a bunch of those coming out. Yeah, I think every Friday we're trying to put out like a local beer though. So like every Friday should be a beer from our area, or at least we're trying to. Yeah, no, I'm really enjoying this.
Copy it.
I'm learning a lot about bourbon. I'm learning a lot about
Your friends.
just everything in general. I'm learning how fucked that Tanner really is in the head. Other than that, you know,
How small Bumpy's bladder is.
no, it's good times. A shout out I'd like to call out. I know I've shouted them out before, but SLB Drinks. So this Friday they're having a live stream, but it's for charity, and I believe it's for Riley's Children's Hospital. One of the co-hosts, his grandson had passed away like years ago or something like that. Last year they said they raised over $20,000.
Damn.
So this year they're looking to raise, I think, $40,000. But if you join during the live stream, they're giving away a shit ton of bourbon, like super rare stuff. People have donated, and you can like just buy raffle tickets for like $5 or whatever, and you know you're in it. So pretty cool cause, and you can get your hands on some stuff that you probably wouldn't. You know, potentially for $5 you could get like some Old Pappy or something. You know what I mean? That's pretty crazy. So all for a good cause. So I always like seeing that. That's it.
Nice. Cheers, Dan. Awesome, bro.
Very good. Nice. What's my turn, right? Yeah. Thomas Metal 75. That's the channel of the YouTubes that I'm on. Host of Massachusetts Beer Reviews, and we do the Wildcard Wednesday every Wednesday night at 7:30 Eastern Standard, Boston, New York time. Co-hosted by Alex the Beer Master. If I am not able to host, he will be able to assist with the hosting duties. For whatever reason, I can host. So just bring a beer, wine, or a spirit. Really, any beverage. It's just a wild card. You can bring whatever you want as far as the adult beverage is concerned. Just don't be a douche. That's all that matters to me, at least. I'm also the drummer in southeastern Massachusetts, doom metal band Oxblood Forge. So if you like Black Sabbath and Iron Maiden, go check out Oxblood Forge on Bandcamp, and to buy some music and merchandise, and wherever you go and stream music on the internet, we will be there. So as far as the YouTubes, people you should probably be watching on YouTube, I would watch Thrifty Whiskey. They are usually primarily $30 and under, and they do a lot of blind bourbon reviews and sometimes solo reviews. And they're super objective about what they do because they don't know what it is, and sometimes they will also guess what kind of a spirit what kind of a whiskey, what style whiskey it even is. So go check them out. That's a really fun time. And I felt like I wanted to say somebody particularly from our group of people. Oh, go check out the Eclectic Beard, former beer reviewer. Now he's doing more of the lifestyle kind of videos and reactions to music and whatnot. Go check out Eclectic Beard, good friend of ours, and yeah, great YouTuber. His channel's exploded, and go check out what he's got to offer. So Thrifty Whiskey, Eclectic Beard, Thomas Metal 75. Thank you, East Coast Liquor Reviews.
For sure, man. Cheers, bro.
I'm gonna break this.
We had Sam Smalley just joined up in the chat.
Sam Smalley.
Cheers to you, bro. Said he loves whiskey right now. He said Puppy's beer looks oxidized.
No.
All right. So it's not oxidized, to confirm. Cheers, Tommy Carroll. Yeah, it's been fun. Definitely shout out to the chat. Like I said earlier, so we just had Sam just join in. Cheers to Sam Smalley, Tommy Carroll, Conversazi. Eric was in the chat as well. Thomas Mo 75, Ryan's Beer Reviews, Beer Hounds with Bill. Cheers to you, man. Beer man, cheers, bro. And yeah, it's been fun. We've actually had a good turnaround tonight. We've had a good amount of people watching. Definitely a good show. One of the bourbons we just had to do, you know. I mean, if we're doing bourbon whiskey examinations, it's bound to happen. We do one of the most common bourbons there is, other than like Evan Williams, like we did last week. Yeah, look out for more whiskey examinations. We do have next Monday, 8:30 p.m. Depending on Dan's schedule, everything is structured around Dan's time and when Dan is available. But
this is a Dan's world.
Dan's world. Dan's world. La 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 la. Daniel.
I appreciate your life sacrifices that each and every one of you make to make me part of your friend zone.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic.
So yeah, Monday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, October 30th, in honor of Halloween, we're going to be doing Jim Beam Devil's Cut. And I also have said, you know, if you want to be goofy and wear, you know, some type of Halloween costume or, you know, just do something Halloween kind of, Bumpy's distracting me with a bottle.
Kind of themed, Halloween themed.
Yeah, Halloween themed. Yes, thank you, Eric. If you want to do anything kind of Halloween themed, you're more than welcome to. Should be fun. Should be an awesome examination. I don't think I've had the Devil's Cut. Now I can go back and look. Hold on, let me see.
I have not ever had the Devil's Cut.
Oh, I have. Jim Beam Devil's Cut Whiskey Review, April 3rd, 2017. So it's been 6 years.
Holy shit.
So it's been 6 years since I've had the Devil's Cut.
Can you dress as a tampon?
I do not remember. I don't know what that's from.
Like a douche.
Yeah. Oh. Just like a douche. Okay. I'm like, what is Bubby talking about? But yeah, so it's been 6 years since I've had the bourbon. Look out for that. That should be fun. I do like those bottle styles. I remember the extra aged or double aged, whatever they want to call it.
Black label.
I believe it's called the black. Yes, the black label one was
Black label Jim Beam.
was the first whiskey review on my channel. So I had a couple of videos. It might even be the first review. Let me tell you right now.
You can sort it by oldest.
Yeah.
On YouTube channels.
No, it wasn't. It was my first whiskey review. My first review was Angry Orchard Hard Cider Easy Apple.
Yeah, easy boy for Easy Apple.
Saranac S'more Porter. Samuel Smith Oatmeal Stout. That was a good one to get started off.
I haven't had that in a hot minute.
Ballast Point, Dead Ringer, Oktoberfest, and then
awful.
my first whiskey review, Jim Beam Extra Age Bourbon, with 4,500 views. So that's got some good.
Hell yeah, get that thing going.
Good views off that. Yeah, that was my first review. But like I said, the Devil's Cut. It's been 6 years since I've drank that, so look out for that. Monday, I did just release a repurchase or pass on my channel, which is a lot of fun. I'm kind of getting used to recording outside of my house. there's like a guy backing up in a truck 16 times in the background. It's a little annoying, but the music is more over it. But I'm outside, there's stuff that I can't really prevent. But yeah, so I pretty much go over 5 bourbons under $40 and let you know if I would repurchase them or pass up on them. Kind of gives me a reason to finish off bottles, kill off bottles, which I enjoy, and then I get to make content out of it because I like to just leave like a few ounces left, and then it sits there, and then I don't drink it. So this is a good way to kill off some stuff, and it's a fun series that I've been doing on my channel. So go check that out. It's the 2nd episode. Bunch of beer reviews that I just released as well. Go check those out. I have a ton of more beers. I also did a Rate That Beer yesterday, so look out for another possible Rate That Beer on my day off. I do have some stuff that I need to get through, so I'd like to do another beer session, 3 beers. Other people are welcome to join me if they want, but it's probably going to be a long show if I'm reviewing 3 products or 2 products. Sometimes I will kind of cut it down if, it gets too long. I'll only do 2 if there's a bunch of people show up, But yeah, so look out for Rate That Beer. And I was also thinking about possibly doing another beer trivia where it's based off of styles. So maybe we could just do a beer trivia episode, whatever it is, 4 or 5. We haven't done many, but it would be beer styles. So I pretty much read off the style of a beer, and then the panel has to guess what style I'm describing. So I think that would be fun. Yeah, look out for that. Shout outs to other people. Definitely check out all these guys on the panel here. Appreciate you all for stopping by, hanging out. Hope you Road Brews, Dan from FLX Beer Reviews, Thomas Smell 75, also known as Massachusetts Beer Reviews, also known as Eric. And then other than the panel, check out this guy. He's been pumping out a lot of content. He does some great beer reviews. You can tell he's definitely very enthused when it comes to beer reviews, and he enjoys it just as much as we all do. Does a great job describing product, so go check him out. And let me pick somebody off my list over here. Check out Miscellaneous Beer Reviews. He is live right now, so if you want to go watch that, go check out that live stream. Bourbon Junkies, of course. Scotch Down Under goes live. Kilco Whiskey Musing, Embellish Podcast, which is pretty cool. I just watched his latest podcast. He reviewed I believe the owner of was Old Louisville Distillery, I believe.
Ooh, that's cool.
The Bourbon Ranch, Massive Beers. Check out Matt. Straight Up Bourbon, Aquavite, Nerd Sense, 93 Lumber, John and Illy, Joey, Square Table Degenerates. Yeah, go check all those people out. Chatio, check them out. Yeah, and thank you, everybody in the chat. It's been fun. For sure, Ryan. I got you, brother. We will have an off-air kind of hangout afterwards if anybody's interested. So I guess I'll leave the link in the chat here if anybody wants to come up after the show and hang out. And yeah, anything else you guys want to say before I wrap this up? Okay. Anything else anybody has any meaning?
No, sir.
No? All right.
All
Well,
good.
there you have it.
Come on in.
Thank you guys. Yeah, come hang out for the after party. And if there's anything else you guys like to see on my channel, make sure to leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my upcoming videos. Lick a beer. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers, everyone. Cheers, panel. Cheers, chat.
Cheers. And the word.